All right, so if you're a news trader, this video is for you. I'm going to showcase how to use the grids here and the charts here around the news. And this is specifically, we had a lot of talking going on from the Fed recently, and they did a nice job of moving the dollar around intraday for a bit. And as news traders know and often like, as long as they're on the right side of their trades, enjoy the news. The news equals volatility, so it's an opportunity to put some pips into your account. So we're going to look at two trades we made on this around the Fed talk, and I think that's what I'm going to call this video is Fed talk trading. And let's look at the euro dollar, dollar yen, and right away you're going to notice that there's a candle that is not like the other candles on the chart. So we have a 1 hour chart here, and we see price moves along, and not a lot of movement, right? So, I mean, we're talking a tight range, for hours on end, and it makes sense. We had the Fed talk on its way, and the market was in anticipation of that. So when they started talking, we had a jump up to, let's call it 2030, easy math, and then a quick spike down to 1864. So more than 150 pips, and that makes this candle unique. Now, I stayed out of the way when the Fed was talking. I wanted to see what direction, what the news was going to be, what they were going to say, and that's a strategy we can use with the grids here and then chart together. Is personally, I'll just stay out of the way of the news, let the news and the market react, and then I can come in and then trade the technicals after that. And so the dollar here went down 100. Let's just easy math, 150 pips, and then the dollar yen. We had a scenario. This is a 30 minute chart, so real tight 30-minute ranges, and then we launched from 111.25 to 112.45. So again, about the same distance as the euro dollar moved, 30. So an hour and some change, same distance that the euro dollar moved. And so when I looked at these together, the 1 hour chart gives you an idea of where price was, where it went. 30-minute chart zoomed in, kind of the same deal. But I wanted to find a place to enter a trade. And when we're using the grid and the chart, I'm a big fan of looking at our band shades. And if you're keeping up with the series, you know that I use band shades, the top and the bottom, on a regular basis to use these as a ceiling and or a support, depending on which case we're in. So when I zoom out, so we want to go bird's eye view on the market. Here's our 2022, and here is our drop down to 1864. And when I looked at this 4 hour chart, it gave me a good idea of where we might have a trade on our hands, and that was at the bottom of this band shade right here. This candle came down, looked at the bottom of the band shade here on a 4 hour chart. To me, that's going to offer or signal strong support. I'm going to trust this band shade, and then given that there was support here in the past, that gives us a history. We link these two things together, and I start forming an opinion. And also, same idea with the dollar yen. Now I'm looking at these together, the euro dollar and the dollar yen inversely, and it's not coincidental, but coincidentally, the euro dollar, I zoomed out and I'm on a 4 hour chart, it's starting to exhaust and not challenge beyond the upper band on this 4 hour chart. So when I look at the dollar 4 here, might be running out of gas. I look at the dollar yen here, the top of the 4 hour band shade, it might be running out of steam. So I start thinking to myself, it's time to enter a trade. And that's exactly what I did. So you'll see I move my charts around here. I put my euro dollar chart here, slid my grid over so I could watch these in real time, uh, as they work against each other or run in the opposite direction, and then I have my grids on each side. So it's a way, and that's a nice way that we can arrange our chart and grid so you can take in a lot of information instantly. So I went short on dollar yen right at the top of this 4-hour band shade. Just like I said when I was looking at the other chart, I liked that it was here. And anytime we start seeing a deep blue, deep or darker colored shades on our grid, that's giving us information that we've traveled a long ways in price from where we started. We started down here. So when we look at the dollar yen, we see a 1-minute box here. That's where price is. And the rest of the boxes, where are they on our 5 or 15 and an hour? They're way down here. We can't see them. They're not on the grid. They're down in center earth. And the opposite is true for our euro dollar. Price came down so far so quick. Our 1-minute boxes are here. It kept up with price. But then our 5-minute, 15 and hour boxes are way north. We can't see them. So with the euro dollar, 1877 was the long. Right in here, as soon as I saw the wick near here, I was thinking, okay, this is, at 77, that's about 20 pips north of the bottom of the band shade. It would have been nice to capture it here, but I didn't. And again, this is after, right when the Fed's talking, and I was happy to enter the long here, even if it did go back down 20 pips, no worries. I might even consider adding at the bottom of the band shade, and would have been happy to do that. So with the position, it was pretty much instantly. We made our spread back, and then our game plan started to unfold, and then I just moved my charts to 4-hour because I wanted to see the top of the band shade here. Because as I'm looking at my charts, I just want to see that the candle respects here and that this candle respects that line here. And then on the euro dollar, since we made a buy, our game plan at 1877 is to leave this dark blue, this is support, and we want to break through our 1-minute boxes. And when this price pushes through the red boxes here, now our target's the 5 and 15-minute, which are way north, which equals pips in our case, and that's the game plan. And the same is true for the dollar yen. When we're looking at the dollar yen chart here, we want to, since we shorted, we want our price at 112.44 to break the 1-minute green supports, and then it has to find a home. It's going to go down to the 5 and down to the 15. And so that's what we're starting to see happen here. Then I just moved my time frames down to 15, and because I wanted to see, our band shades 1, 2, 3, 4 band shades here. We've got a dark band shade on top. Our candle's starting to float back down, starting to form wicks on the 15. So we're doing good in our trade so far. And this is about 30 minutes later, right? This is where we entered our trade on the 15-minute, and we've made our spread back and just plus 1 pip. And if we look at our candle where we entered, now we're somewhere around 30 minutes into the trade, and we've made 15 pips, 10 pips. So on the dollar yen, if we look at this chart here, this is where we entered. Our dollar yen at 47 at this dashed line. And remember, when these boxes were green, we said we wanted to break our 1-minute support. That's what we did. So price is acting as if it's searching out another resistance to find. So it's attracted like a magnet to the next one, which is going to be our green boxes on the 5-minute down here. So it's on its way. And the same is true with our euro dollar that we bought to go long. These boxes were red. We needed price to push through these red boxes, and look what it's doing. It's traveling towards its next target, the next red box on the screen that was previously off the screen. And then now we're back, let's see. Now we're about an hour into the trade. And we're slowly starting to add, 10, 15, 20 pips, 18 pips. And we can see price on our dollar yen that our boxes, our support boxes or our target boxes have moved up. Same scenario with our euro dollar. We bought 1913. We're still eyeing that as a target. Eventually this played out, another 15 minutes after that last photo, and I was happy to call it a trade. Roughly 28 pips on dollar yen. Let's see, 47 to 15. So then 77 to, okay, yep. So about 23 pips on the euro dollar, and let's just average it out together. Easy math for $10 a pip, and we made 50 pips there. So good news trading strategy, simply by using the chart and the grids to find a place where either the market has taken each pair to a support or a resistance. And the beauty about this scenario is both of these trades are showing you that whether it be a support that we're looking at or whether it be a resistance that we're looking at, they work out. If you know where to find, know what to look at as a support, treat it as a support, trade it as a support, and after it moves up from support, take your pips. And when you find a resistance, trade it as a resistance, and when the price moves from the resistance down, take your pips. And in this scenario, even out when the Fed's talking, we can reliably use the band shades on our grid together in conjunction, or rather we can use our charts and the band shades in conjunction with our moving boxes on our time lanes together to make a trade, put some pips on our account, and look for the next trade.